And there we are, back again. Okay, this was a rather longer break than we'd had before, you know. Okay, this was a lunch break, so we're well nourished, we're powered up, and I'm very happy to announce the next slot here, which is for, which is not just for, which is with this wonderful gentleman at my side here. Please welcome Herbert. Hi. Nice to meet you. How you doing?
Nice to meet you too. Thanks that I can be here.
Yes, he's the founder of Drone Champions League. And we're talking not about the game right now, but we're talking about the actual drone league, like with real drones. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I think we should start with the real Drone Champions League to understand what is then for the game about, because the cool thing is that you can actually qualify for real races.
Already? Okay. Is that so? That's crazy. I think you brought some real awesome material that we can look at the whole time. Want to start off with the trailer?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do that then, and we'll see you after this fantastic impression of what Drone Champions League is like.
All 8 drones fly out. Now side by side. An incredible start. Takes the lead on the other side. Catch him, pass him and take the lead.
Whoa!
That's how it looks like, and that's how a real drone, a racing drone looks like. Every drone has like super bright LEDs.
Wow!
In
Can you leave that on for a second? I mean, this is really bright, as in it blinds me, right? Wow! Crazy thing.
So every pilot has their color, or every team has their color, so you directly understand red against blue.
I see.
So it's very clear who first comes into the crash gate.
And what we just saw, it's really like this is real footage from...
That's real footage from
your
our
races.
Exactly. So every drone has like a camera, and it streams directly onto video goggles, right? So you have your live view and first-person view, and then with your RC controller, you then basically fly against the best pilots in the world and at iconic locations, like, as you saw, the Chinese Wall, the Champs-Élysées in Paris in front of 180,000 people, and stuff like that.
This is so crazy. So you've been to all those events?
Absolutely.
Probably, right?
Yes.
Because you got to take care that they are happening. Okay.
Exactly.
So maybe just getting back to this one, when did you start all this? Or maybe how did it develop? Just the first couple of steps.
We started in 2016, and the idea was always to have the game to it, because that's the special thing, because real life is almost the same as the gaming side because you have no G-forces. And so the nature of it, it's already like the real thing is already like a video game. And the skill is basically exactly the same as in real life. So a guy who is really good on the game, it will be also very good in real life and vice versa.
Okay, I understand. I mean, sounds logical to me, but still, I mean, it looks like rather high-skilled stuff, right?
Absolutely, and that's why to make the entry point easier, we made the game not only for specialists, but really also for gamers, for like freestylers, but also for like camera operators, where a lot of people have like their camera drone at home, which costs €1,000, and to enhance your skills, you can perfectly also fly in our game.
Nice. I think we'll also talk about other drone stuff in the next few minutes, in the next 30 minutes we have here. But you've brought other footage. Maybe we can just, while we talk, we can have a look at this.
Absolutely.
Because I'm really interested what this is all about. I mean, the footage we just saw from this trail of the real event, as you said, it already looks like a game, right? With especially with all the colors. And if you put a little grading on it and it just gets this cinematic look, it's unreal. It looks unreal, right?
Absolutely, and I think that's a good point to start basically the game trailer.
Yeah, cool.
Where you already have get an idea, and if you saw the scenes of before, then you also might see some similar scenes now in the trailer. I see.
Okay, yeah, probably. Then let's see if we can get that one. Because, yeah, as I said, I'm really curious about that.
Short impression of the game, but I think we directly also jump into the B-roll now.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Where we basically start with the arcade mode, which is a high realistic thing, but it holds your altitude automatically, because that's the most difficult part of it.
Okay, I see.
And so you can, as a gamer, you pick it up and directly fly with 150 kilometers per hour through a track, and you have fun immediately.
How fast is it? 150?
150 kilometers per hour.
It's quick.
So, yeah, that's the entry point. What also makes it easy, on console, to really directly jump into it and have fun, and also start leveling up, and improve your skills.
Pretty fast, and there the first round is already done. This is really, it's really fast, as I already said. It's high-paced gaming. So how would you control it? I mean, is it doable with a usual, like, handheld controller already?
Absolutely. I mean, a normal controller is very similar to like an RC controller. I think the cool thing is that you can also plug in your RC, what you're flying your real drone, into the computer. So you have exactly the same setup.
Okay.
You have longer sticks, and if you put some stick extensions on your gamepad, it already makes it easier then.
So it's already close.
It's already very close. And then basically also for a camera operator, you have like the GPS mode, which is already high realistic, where then you need to control also your altitude.
I see.
And then it becomes, of course, very difficult for that type.
Because then there's multiple directions you got to take care of, right?
Exactly.
Because left, right, okay, so far so good.
Yeah.
But then I think can they crash?
Of course, you can crash, but the good thing is here in the game you have a reset button, what you don't have in real life.
Yeah.
And here you basically see then the acro mode. So there are different modes, right? So we had the GPS mode, and we now have the acro mode, which is like the full freedom mode where you can do flips, loopings, and everything. And this is also how the racing pilots steer their drone, where, you know, then you really need to build up your skill. And this is where it also connects to the real life. So people who fly in this mode then can qualify for the real thing.
I see. This is, but again, I can't emphasize this enough because it looks so difficult. How long? You said okay, it's easier if you like have the easy mode or without the altitude. How long does it take for someone to learn how to control a drone or in this game?
I would say if you play through in arcade mode. You reach it's a leveling system, you get money, you unlock harder and harder tracks.
I see.
So you basically through in an hour or maybe two, if you're a little bit talented. But then in the real acro mode, it takes really hours.
Okay.
So you need, I would say, at least 10 to 20 hours until you get through a heavy track, a hard track. And then you build up your skill really quite a lot. So, you know, doing that with a real drone is really costly.
That's what I wanted to say.
These 20 hours, you're basically crashing all the time. And that's where you really...
you lose a lot of money.
And a lot of time because, you know, you need to rebuild and stuff. I mean, they're very robust, but in general, it helps a lot.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask. I mean, how did they do it before, like, this game, you know?
Yeah,
this will revolutionize the way people learned how to fly a drone.
Absolutely, and because it's high realistic, we also had it in the wind tunnel. So all forces are really precisely measured.
Okay.
It's still a game because we said we have 3 fixed presets to have like a balanced leaderboard. So you can basically select different skins, what you see here. So that enables us also to have some fun, right? Where you have cool skins, fantasy skins, you know, inspired by pop culture. But also funny skins, like for example, a flying brick. You know, what would you never would fly in real life? You could actually build it, but you probably won't be fast with it. Yeah.
But they're not all actually buildable, right? I mean, some looked at least. This one
is like the unicorn.
Yeah.
Everybody loves unicorns.
Jeez.
So because we have those 3 physics presets with a lightweight setup, the DCL drone setup, and then a heavyweight, we then enable really that esport type of game to have it fair for everybody.
Okay, and so in real life, people also wear like this virtual reality glasses because otherwise they wouldn't be able to follow their drone, right? I mean,
yeah, it got very common to fly with goggles because it's like more handy in real life instead of a screen. Of course, you can also fly with a screen, but with the goggles, when you're on top of the mountain and you know you have like a screen somewhere and you need to build up, that's not really handy. And so basically, almost everybody flies with those video goggles,
which is, as you said, also very similar then to the look you'll have in the game.
Exactly.
Is this something that's planned to be in VR too, or is this only like on the screen?
We actually did it already in VR, but we saw that you know the how do you say getting sick?
Motion sickness.
Motion sickness is a huge topic here.
Sure.
Because
I imagine that.
and we said, oh, we rather don't put it in because it's just too crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why we basically left it out. Would be easy to have it in, but we didn't want to, you know, didn't really make sense. Here what you see is, you know, the freestyle thing. So we also made the game for freestylers, which is also a big community. There are videos which, you know, have millions of views.
Okay. Those are not the ones who are racing, but they're doing tricks and stuff.
Exactly. So we have the racers, we have the freestylers, and in the game you can do stuff what you couldn't do in real life without any super special permission, right? You won't be able to fly close to a helicopter or to a plane and stuff like that. So you have moving objects, you can dive buildings in the middle of the city, and that makes it cool for, you know, freestyles to also, you know, the same topic again, because if you want to do some tricks and stuff and do that in real life and you crash, that's the, you know,
that's worst case scenario, right?
Exactly, that's a cash thing. And here you have really the immersive feeling as you would fly in real life.
It's looking good.
And the environments, I think, are pretty cool. There are lots of holes, lots of, you know, things to fly through and to explore. And with the moving object, additionally, that's absolutely unique in that sense.
I see. I think it just crashed. Is it possible? Maybe. So what happens if you crash in the game? Then you just
then you
game over and start over.
You just reset. Yeah, exactly. So then there are like 4 different modes. So we have the free flight mode, right? What we just saw. But here is like the time attack mode, where you always have 7 other best records of other players in the world. But you can also select, you know, the country, or you can select your friends.
Okay.
So it always is in your skill level, meaning if you get better, you also get better in other, you know, records, flight records.
Okay.
So the leaderboard is like where you can climb up all the time, and you always have the perfect competition for you.
Okay.
But it's even more because the community is basically a very strong community. And finding friends in here is also possible. You can add friends, you can challenge them and fly against each other, and then even meet, you know, to fly together with the real drones.
At the events, maybe.
At the events
wherever.
also, but also at the hometown. So there are many pilots who said drone racing just changed my life because you meet so many new people, and it's such a an awesome hobby.
That's a cool thing to say, right? I mean, it's cool, and the community grows so strongly together. I just wondered, I mean, if all these events take place in real life, will you also have like events happening in the game?
Exactly, they are perfectly. You directly come into the event mode.
Yeah.
So that's. Basically time-limited events, which are on for a week or for a month, which are maybe in special modes. So you basically then, from those event mode, you qualify for real races. So what we, for example, did is the wildcard selection together with McDonald's.
I see.
Just quickly listen into it a bit.
So on our stage are the McDonald's wildcard team, 8 pilots.
So that's a cool opportunity, to really see the connection between, the game and the real thing.
It is.
Where you then, we made a tour with McDonald's. There were 20 restaurants, and you could fly basically and qualify through the game. And then the best 4 pilots, they actually got third in the real race then. So there it already proves, that the game is exactly the same as.
So they
as,
could
as real life.
perform it in real
Absolutely.
life.
They actually, there were 2 races.
Impressive.
And they twice got third out of 8 teams.
Which is not bad, right?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so bronze medal for them.
Yeah.
As you said, it's a strong community. How did you work with the community to make this game fit for everyone who wants to try it out here? I mean, they might have certain thoughts on this too, how they want it to be, and you probably don't want to disappoint them, of course, right? So how did you work with them?
We mostly worked, of course, with the DCL teams and pilots.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave a lot of feedback on the flight simulation, the physics, and yeah, we did not really on a big scale ask the big community, but we asked in every the freestylers. We asked the most important freestylers what should be in there, and the same with also the gamers, where we had lots of testing, and that was the biggest most difficult part, to really make it accessible from the very beginning, because otherwise, if you start in acro mode immediately, it's super difficult and it's just not satisfying from the beginning on.
So you don't want them to give up, right?
Exactly.
Right away.
And so we really saw that gamers stuck to it over an hour and so. So that was really important for us to have that. And here you also see the multiplayer. So it's a synchronous multiplayer with 30 people. That's a bad luck.
It happens at some point. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I think that the biggest thing what you then can be is, so there's a wildcard team, but there is also the draft selection, which happens every March every year.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the draft selection? It's basically the slowest team of last year of the real life can pick the first pilots from the game. So the 200 best gamers are invited to the draft selection, and then the teams basically select the new pilots for the season.
Okay.
And then if you're really good, then you get a fixed slot over the whole time in the DCL.
Which is pretty cool. I mean, still a lot of... I mean, if you really get to travel to awesome places then and get to fly those real tracks, I think this will lure people to do this, right? But you also would need the time to do it. Would they need to bring their own drone, or how would that work?
I mean, in the wildcard selection, you get your drone basically from us.
So it's part of the wildcard.
It's part of a wildcard,
cool.
which is cool. On the draft selection, you're part of a team, and the team provides you usually with the drone. Mm-hmm. But of course, they are tuning their drones quite a lot. So we have a power limit of 3 horsepower. Per drone, so no drone can have more than 3 horsepower, and but aerodynamics and setup and stuff like that is fine tuning.
Up to them.
Is up to them. So basically, because of the power limit, they are all very close together. But when it comes to racing, then there's a lot to tune.
There's a lot of investment, of course. May I maybe touch this one? I haven't actually. This will be a real racing drone, as in this might fly at one of those events.
Exactly. I mean, it has now the full canopy. The camera is not built in.
Okay,
as it's the show drone. But basically, yeah, the size is exactly the same, and also the LEDs and propeller sizes are, yeah, one-on-one.
Wow. Okay, crazy.
So it's accelerates pretty fast. It's actually faster than a Formula One car in acceleration.
Okay. I mean,
And
it's lighter, so there's an advantage there, but still, it needs to have the power, right?
yeah, and the top speed, yeah, with 150 kilometers per hour is also not that
It's
bad.
not bad, right? How long can it go that fast?
Basically, the battery lasts for 2 minutes maximum. If you're on full power, even less. But you know, the pilots really tune and set up their drone and the battery size that they can fly exactly.
Like the exact
Yeah.
size of the track. So if they get sidetracked at some point, they might just not finish the race.
Happens, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because probably you don't want the battery to be too heavy, right?
Exactly,
Then it
yeah.
slows you down.
Yeah.
Okay, this is really interesting. It's a whole new world, right? And you can dive right into it. And that's what you want to do with this game. So, would you rather say it's like more? We've been slightly talking about this, but it's more game than simulation, or a bit of both.
Yeah, we say it's a game because we have these presets of physics. Because you can imagine there are a million different physics setups with, you know, different propellers, different motors, different flight controllers, ESCs, and so on, different weight. And if you really would dive into the simulation like this, then you couldn't have like an esports setup as we have, because you have like, you know, it's basically you need to find the perfect setup then to really be competitive. And that's why we said to have a balanced leaderboard, we really have those 3 presets.
Okay, so tell us maybe something about. Okay, that's a picture of you here.
Yeah, that's basically how it all started.
All right.
And
so back to the beginning here.
Back to the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
I studied space and aviation engineering, and I'm actually was also flying myself. And the first time, you know, I had the goggles on, it felt like real flying. And that was so cool, because when I was a young kid, you know, I was dreaming to become a pilot. But 20 years ago, there was basically nothing. You just could wait until you're 18 years old, and then you know, you needed to do the pilot license for like 10,000 euros and so on. So there are lots of barriers to become a pilot, and now that's our goal and our vision to really, you know, if you want to become a pilot, then we have the product for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing you could do is like with these how they call it, little parachutes you go with as a kid. Like
yeah, that's what I did too. I was like model,
maybe something
I
like
was
that.
model airplaning, but you know, there was no first-person view at that time.
Definitely.
So that's a whole different new world where it feels like you're inside.
I think that evolved the whole drone and flying stuff. That evolved a lot, I think, in the last few years. So let's just quickly talk about drones in general. I mean, I think you have a pretty good overview over the market. What do you think about like all those popular drones and brands like DJI, what they're putting on the market? What will happen there? I mean, how where should that go?
It's quite interesting. I mean, the market is huge. They are selling like 20 million drones a year, and I mean, experts expect up to 50 million drones to be sold in 2 or 3 years.
I see.
So the market is growing quite a lot. It also, DJI just released FPV system, which is like a new era of FPV, because it's the first digital system, which really works nicely.
First person view.
Yeah, which is in HD. It's like, you know, flying in a GoPro style. So that will also come more and more into the like camera drones. So I think that the fun aspect of flying is a more important factor in the future. at the moment, like filming and camera drones is like the most important thing to shoot nice videos. But with also that new system, you have new possibilities to fly like that, as you saw it in the game also.
I've heard that there's something, the drone equivalent to a selfie is the droney, where you just let your drone fly up and say cheese.
Exactly.
So a droney.
That's
oh
a droney,
wow,
yeah.
it's a droney. I'm not
It's
sure
a
if I'm not sure if I like the phrase, but it's still funny. And how, I mean, as this market will evolve, how will that maybe affect your game too? I mean, if that's getting bigger and bigger, so you got to adjust to this, right?
Absolutely. I think that's why we really built it not only for racers, but we built it for camera operators, we built it for freestylers, and for gamers, of course. And evolving also that for example, in the European Union, you now then have like fixed regulations, so it's all the same in each country, which opens up new markets. For example, in Italy, it was not allowed up till now to really fly FPV.
Is that
the
so?
auto. Yeah.
Okay.
So there are new markets coming, and so the market itself is like growing.
Interesting restrictions, right? You have sometimes, right? Because there wasn't a law, because it was not possible before. So people are wondering
basically
what's
every country made their own laws.
Yeah.
And like Italy, it was not allowed. Romania, it was not allowed, and like few countries where it was absolutely impossible. But then like more open countries like Germany, where you of course need to be far away off airports and stuff like that.
Inner cities probably not allowed, right?
Exactly. And we want to also help with the game and also with DCL to educate people that there is a safe entry also into the hobby.
Okay. Yeah, I see that, and you're getting rid of all this legal regulation stuff, because that's definitely not a problem here. And it's also a game that I think it's probably suitable it could be suitable for kids. So when you were younger, you weren't 18 yet, you would have been able to play this. So I see where this connects to your dreams, to your initial dreams. So maybe just because our time's running up now, tell us something about availability and platforms. Where can I play this?
So it will be available on PC, Mac, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Almost everywhere?
Almost. Maybe also some other platforms coming, but we'll announce that a little bit later.
Everything's possible here.
Exactly.
Right? Cool. This was really a nice and interesting interesting excursion into this world of drone flying. And I would have loved to see this one fly here, but okay, we're not allowed to do it in here. Regulations again.
But that's not the...
too bad.
That's not the country regulation, that's the message.
Yeah, that's the message regulation. There's always regulation somewhere and somehow. So thanks for being here, Herbert. This was really much fun, and I'm actually looking forward to playing this. But if I'm gonna play this, then I want to play this with a real thing, with a controller thingy.
Yeah.
I don't know. This will be probably, available for...
Absolutely, but then you need to play on PC and Mac.
I see.
So we try to negotiate with Microsoft and Sony, but they have quite strong restrictions, to really plug in.
That's probably complicated, right?
Yeah, it would be quite easy. We already made it happen, but they just said, nah, you need to make like approval process, which takes like 15 years or something.
Legal stuff. Okay, then there's already a Drone Champions League 5 or whatever coming up there. So thank you for being here.
Cool.
Pretty much. We're gonna be heading to our next program point. We'll see what's happening there. It's some Destroy All Humans coming up, so we'll be in a short break for a few minutes. So please stay here, and we'll see what happens next, huh? Let's see it. So bye bye, and see you soon.